What's up, Star Wars fans? It's the Emerald Enthusiast back with another action figure review. This time I'll be looking at two 6-inch Star Wars Black Series figures of the Mandalorian. Here is the Amazon exclusive Credit Collection Tattooine Mandalorian. Of course, this is a card and bubble design. There is the credit. On the back, we get this artwork from The Mandalorian, as well as a brief write-up about the credit collection. Here is a close-up of that write-up. If you would like to read this, just hit pause and do so now. Here is the other Mandalorian figure in this box and plastic window design. This is figure number 94 from wave number 22 of the Star Wars Black Series. And the back of the package features a brief bio of the Mandalorian in 5 different languages. Here's a close-up of that biography. If you would like to read any of these, just hit pause and do so now. And now let's bust open this package and see what's inside. Here we see the Republic credit, and I really like the sculpting on this, as well as this metallic gold paint. I like how the light dances off of that. And here we see the Mandalorian, free of the package and ready to rumble. Of course, this is a stylized version of the Mandalorian based on the artwork that we see in the credits. This figure may not appeal to all collectors, although I appreciate the aesthetics of the concept. I'll talk more about the loose details in just a moment. And now let's bust open the other package and see what's inside. And once again, here we see the Mandalorian, free of the package and ready to rumble. This figure is more likely to have a broad appeal to collectors than the Credit Collection figure, although they both have positives and negatives. So let's take a closer look at the loose details now. Here's a close-up of the Credit Collection figure, and the armor looks sand-beaten and aged. I really appreciate those details. You can see the blues and the oranges that correspond to the art in the credits. Again, I really like the concept of this figure, with the exception of these sprays of yellow on the sides of the helmet. To me, they just look like mustard stains. Here is the figure holding the IB-94 blaster pistol accessory. The figure does have a trigger finger that helps hold the accessory in place, and I appreciate that. Even with the artistic motif of this figure, there are still many elements of realism. The armored sections still look like forged metal, and the sections that are supposed to represent fabric are sculpted well with a plethora of wrinkles. Here's the figure with the jetpack accessory. There are 3 grooves in this figure's back, and this accessory ports into those grooves, and it does fit securely. The sculpting is accurate to what we see on the Disney Plus series, as is the paint application on this accessory. I appreciate the inclusion of this piece since The Mandalorian uses the jetpack so routinely on the series. Here is the figure holding the Ambin sniper rifle, aka the Phase Pulse Blaster. The sculpting and details on this piece are magnificent. I don't have any issues with the accessory itself, but I do have a problem getting the figure to hold it accurately. I couldn't quite get the shoulder joint and the wrist to articulate into that deep cocking pose that we see the Mandalorian use on the Disney Plus series. Even so, I think that this accessory makes for an eye-catching pose, so overall I'm happy with what was offered here. I'd also like to point out that the cape is pliable enough to allow you to slip it over the helmet without applying too much pressure. I have to acknowledge the tremendous paint job on this figure. These little touches of silver paint make the armor look aged and battle damaged, and I really appreciate that. This strap that goes over the torso is not part of the body mold. That's actually a separate piece, so I like that as well. And just like with the other figure, the blaster fits into the holster. Here is the figure with the sniper rifle. I had slightly better luck at getting this figure into attractive poses than I did the other figure. I didn't get nearly as much resistance from the elbow joints and the wrist joints as I did with the other figure, so I was able to get this figure into numerous shooting poses, and I liked this one the best. And I have to point out how realistic this cape looks. Even though it's not cloth, the texturing and all of the wrinkles that have been sculpted in make it look like it is fabric. So I'm really impressed by Hasbro's level of work here. Here is the figure holding the blaster pistol accessory, and I really appreciate the attention to detail on this figure. The sculpting on the pistol is very intricate, and just like with the other parts of the armor, Hasbro went out of their way to make sure that we were getting screen accuracy, so I definitely respect that. Let's look at the articulation on both figures. The feet move backward and forward at the ankle joint. There's also some ankle pivoting, double jointed knees, so you can get the figure into a running pose. There's a quadricep swivel. The legs kick forward this much, and the figure steps back that much. The legs articulate out to the sides to that degree, so I think that's adequate. The upper torso swivels around, it crunches forward and rocks backward, so all of this will give you posing options. The wrists rotate and the elbows swivel back and forth. You can also bend the elbows into this angle. The clothing hinders them just a little. The shoulder joints are limited by these armor pieces, as you can see demonstrated here. So you can't get them to raise up from the sides that much. However, you can get the arms to do a 360 at the shoulder joints. You can still rotate the arms back and extend them this much. The head looks easily from side to side, up and down, and there's considerable head tilting. As you would expect, this figure's articulation is very similar, as you can see with the feet. Once again, double jointed knees, and even with the cape on, you can get the figure to do a good running pose. He kicks out that much, he can step back. The legs don't quite articulate out as much as the other figures do. Once again, the figure's upper torso crunches forward, rocks back, and swivels around. The wrists rotate. The elbows articulate to this degree. Once again, the elbows swivel from side to side. You can do a 360 at the shoulder joint. The head looks easily from side to side. He can look up. He can look down. The cape hinders that just a little, and there is head tilting once again. While I think there could have been slight improvements, I am very happy with the articulation on these figures. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this review, and please tell all of your friends about this channel. I would certainly appreciate it. And I'll be back with more Star Wars content soon. But until we meet again, this has been the Emerald Enthusiast, and thanks for watching.